Okay. Shall we continue? On time. Growing up in the Bible Belt, I was constantly shrouded by forest, trees everywhere corrupting the horizon. As a result, the bandwidth of celestial resonance is constricted. The sun is only ever visible, most places when highest in the sky, 10 to 3 p.m., the extremities, the golden hours, the low transmutations, phantoms. You know they occur, and the atmospheric shift is palpable. But the seasons, the solstices, the equinoxes, all blend together below the pine thicket. Moving west on the golden hour, dividing youth from maturity, I observed working on the high plain east of the Rockies that the sun behaves like a pendulum in the sky. The range is the spine of America, north to south, head to foot. On the winter solstice, the sun rises latest at its furthest locale south and whips across the blue at its most rapid tempo. From then, marching north, the sun relaxing and stretching its legs more and more, commanding the seasons thereby. Next in the cosmic cascade is the spring equinox, the Ides of March, which as the pendulum swings represents true center of arc, equal minutes of light and dark. Next comes the summer solstice, the polar opposite, the orb rising farthest north, and the day being the longest. These are naked eye observations, to be clear. The summer solstice unfolds at the slowest tempo. Then the return of the repressed. The vernal equinox being halfway between heaven and hell. The arrival south once more, to begin marching north once more. Always keeping time, always orderly, always intentional. Therefore, the cosmic clock is quite easy, though, as is often the case, I am not sure that anyone else has thought of it. A pendulum, an analog pendulum, works with a weight. The higher the weight sits on the swinging bar, the faster the tempo. The number of minutes in 1 year is 525,600. So the higher the weight, the faster the tempo, the lower the weight, the slower. The easiest, most modern, most convenient method of perpetuation is an electric motor. However, someone very clever could figure out how to make the pendulum, say, hit a paddle, or some such the like, and generate the power necessary to ring the bell and wind the spring. Which is better, a closed system, the Ouroboros, as with creation, feeding upon itself forever. Atop the pendulum, the Venus bell, wound around the bar, a single spring with the weight suspended on the bottom of the spring. Each time a landmark in the sky dance arrives, the bell is struck. Every celestial landmark yields another strike of the bell. The clock is wound with the key, the cosmic key, and the bell is struck for the first time at the right time, 12:36 a.m., December 21st, and the pendulum is set in motion. Each subsequent celestial cairn increasing the number of bell songs, as in, the spring 3 months later yields 2 rings, the summer solstice 3, the vernal equinox 4, the next winter solstice 5, etc. It is a physical meditation on life's latent harmony. Always in time to the monochord of Pythagoras, a mirror, as above so below, and lastly, perhaps most importantly, the synergetic synthesis of the pendulum, swaying in true alignment with God's heartbeat, crystallizes all matter around it, seizing all the noble necessary parts of chemistry together, and kicking out any malignancies polluting. On number. Pythagorean philosophy number dissects numbers by their fractional amounts, bifurcating the number line into 2 categories, but 3 in truth. Any number, with few exceptions, is defined as either superabundant or superdeficient. Example, take the number 10. Its fractional amounts are 1, 2, and 5. 10 over 1 is 10, 10 over 2 is 5, 10 over 5 is 2. Adding these together yields the number 8, and being lower than its origin, we define the number as superefficient. Next, take 24, whose fractional amounts are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, and 12. 24 over 1 is 24. 24 over 2 is 12. 24 over 3 is 8. 24 over 4 is 6. 24 over 6 is 4. 24 over 8 is 3. 24 over 12 is 2. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 12 equals 36, which is higher than its origin, and thereby superabundant. The number line is further subdivided. A quadrant of properties in total, all speaking and interacting with each other, into two sequences known as evenly even and oddly odd. Evenly even is a progression which can always be divided by 2 all the way back to 1, as thus 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, etc. Always reducible to singularity. Oddly odd emerges by subtracting squares. 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 4 minus 1 is 3. 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 9 minus 4 is 5. 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, 16 minus 9 is 7. 4 squared is 16, 5 squared is 25, 25 minus 16 is 9, etc. The third category with fractions is the most sublime, the perfect number. We find perfect numbers by adding up evenly even sequence, always beginning at 1, and multiplying by the last number added, so long as the number arrived at is prime. Example, 1 plus 2 is 3, which is prime. 3 multiplied by 2 is 6, the only perfect number between 0 and 10. 1 plus 2 plus 4 equals 7, again, prime. 7 times 4 equals 28, the only perfect number between 10 and 100, and on it goes. Only one perfect number each factor. The fractional amounts of 28 are 1, 2, 4, 7, and 14. 28 over 1 is 28. 28 over 2 is 14. 28 over 4 is 7. 28 over 7 is 4. 28 over 14 is 2. 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 7 plus 14 equals 28. Neither deficient nor abundant. Perfect. 6 is its own quandary. Simple enough. The fractional amounts are 1, 2, and 3. 6 over 1 is 6. Pardon me. 6 over 2 is 3. 6 over 3 is 2. 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 6. 6 is also the sum of its factors. 1 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 also yields 6. A double perfection, deep mystery. Therefore, there can only be one perfect minute. As with all minutes, as with the textured double perfection of 6, it occurs twice a day. 12:36 is the only perfect minute. Hermetically sealed in numerical order, 1, 2, 3, 6. All 60 seconds within it, on equal footing, an absolute seal. A case can be made for a plethora of other magic minutes, for a plethora of esoteric reasons, but regarding natural law, 12:36 is the only eternal minute, and therefore by default the most magic. Number is its own eternity, and therefore every page of every book cannot contain a single grain of sand. The properties of number also being an eternal reservoir. The number of minutes in one day is 1,440, 1440. The number of degrees in the octahedron is 1,440, 1440. The diameter of the moon is 2,160 miles, 2160. One age in the precession of the equinox is 2,160 years, 2160. The number of degrees in the cube is 2,160, 2160. One quadrant of the celestial calendar is 6,480 years, 6480. The number of degrees in the dodecahedron is 6,480, 6480. 0 is not a number, it is absentia, pure void. 1 is the number of God, though 6 also. Singularity, completeness. It is the radial point of the circle. Forgive me. 2 is dual, whose square is 4. Is the birth of multiplication and division, the mirror, the other. It is the line, expressed in 3 dimensions, as the internal vectors from the volumetric center of the octahedron. 2 is also the birth of 3. 2 arcs with a compass define an equilateral triangle. 3, square of 9, the equilateral triangle, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, creator, creation, creature. Surely associated with quantum mechanics, the problem with measurement. An experience unfolds over time from A to B, but only by C's observations are the results changed. Walking the compass along the circle gives an equilateral triangle connecting every other point. 4, square of 16, Earth foundation, the simplest of the platonic solids, tetrahedron, element of fire, earth and fire. A vertical line cast across the eternity of the page is closed within a circle, dividing first into 6, then subdividing the 4 points on either side of the line yields 4 perpendicular, which closes the circle perfectly in a square. Polygon of square. 5, square of 25, polygon, pentagon, lawful construction, magic of collapse and expanse, Seder or repo tenet opera rotas, associated with the dodecahedron, whose faces are pentagonal. All plants with edible fruits have flowers with 5 petals, strongly connected to the golden mean. The diagonal of the pentagon is in golden mean proportion to the side length, therefore also associated with the cube, as the cube fits inside the dodecahedron along the diagonals. A compound of 5 cubes gives 12 pentagrams across the faces of the dodecahedron. A subdivision of 5 is tedious with a compass. The circle must be divided into fourths, first into half, then halved once more. A circle of 1/2 area is cast in the half circle, touching the radial line and circumference tangentially. A line is drawn from the radial line dividing the circle, where it touches the circumference, through the radial point to the smaller circle until it touches the circumference of the smaller circle on the far side. An arc is cast from the radial line to where the vector through the smaller circle touches its circumference, and then a second arc is cast from the same point running tangential to the bottom of the smaller circle. This divides the circle into 5. Doing it on both points of the diametrical line of the first circle yields 10. 6, square of 36, polygon, hexagon, lawful construction, magic constant, only perfect number between 0 and 10. Its perfection is sealed temporally in the perfect minute of 1236, as well as being the natural subdivision of the circle with its radius. The cube is its solid, being square faces. The cube root, crossing through the volume of the cube from a top corner through the volumetric center to the opposite bottom corner, is the angle of the human heart rest in the chest. Associated with creation, manifestation, work, expression, divinity. 7, square of 49, polygon, heptagon, unlawful construction, so they say, is the number of the world's soul. 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5 times 6 times 7 is the same number as 7 times 8 times 9 times 10, both equal 5040, 5040. Therefore associated also with 9, 5 plus 4 equals 9. The distance from the center of the Earth to the center of the Moon, with each square tangential, is 5,040 miles, 5040. In this formation, we square the circle. The square enclosing the Earth being equal area to the circle, whose radius runs from the center of the Earth to the center of the Moon. The triangle formed from the equator of the Earth to the radial point of the Moon defines the Great Pyramid. 8. Square of 64, polygon, octagon, lawful construction, is the first cube, 2 cubed. Drawing a straight line, vertical and horizontal, crossing with the intersection being the radial point, divided the circle into 4, and subdividing each point divides into 8. 9. Square of 8. Square of 81. Polygon, nonagon, unlawful construction. The final number in base 10. Vortex mathematics divides the circle into 9, and connected with 9 at the top of the circle, and 1 going clockwise from there. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. Never joining 3, 6, or 9. 55 also takes unique significance. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 equals 55. The 10th number of the Fibonacci also equals 55. 1, 8, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55. Pardon me. 5 plus 5 equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1. So there at the 10th conjunction, both times 55, which is 1, emerges a collapse to singularity through expanse. The all is in the thing.